Shemai GTA chums, the Audi e-tron is on discount this week. You can get it from Legendary Motorsport featured, and it's a four-door car, the Omnis EGT. It's an electric car, and for what is it, a million? That's not a bad price, really. But there's a better price, the Greenwood, that's about 600 grand, and that is an absolute bargain. Because this is Imani-Tech, you're going to need to spend another 400,000 at least for the Imani-Tech missile lock-on jammer. So armor upgrade 100% is what you want to do. Armor plating, that costs 150 grand. Brakes, we want to do all these to the max, which we've already done. And Imani-Tech, there she blows, 400 grand for the lock-on jammer. Remote control unit, less useful. This is the most useful thing to survive in session. Livery, we're going to change it entirely. Maybe we'll get rid of all liveries, but we'll just see what it's got. A racing stripe. Stripe looks okay. Maybe a stripe there, but let's just have a little look. Zebra, not really feeling that. The German stripes are good, but I've done that recently. Maybe this is interesting. Could be interesting. Just a little accent, isn't it, really? The army ones, I'm not sure. I don't think so. Let's go to that tick. The sports tick. Let's wang that on. I don't know how much that cost. But pay attention. But respray, primary color. We're going to go for a matte color with this. And I think it does suit the red, doesn't it, there? So we want to complement that red. How do we complement it? With an orange, with a white, a green. That is the opposite, isn't it? I mean, we could get away with a grey. Now that would be a little bit boring, dark earth, wouldn't it? A little bit boring. So let's have a look what else we can get away with. Maybe a blue. I mean, that's decent. Midnight blue. I'm not sure I'm getting that. And there's a green again. Okay, let's cycle back to grey, because I think that is our choice. Again, we're picking a similar kind of colour. This is boring Audi all over, isn't it? I was going to pick a bright colour, but I've been restricted by the livery. Really have. So we've got the cream as a secondary. What was that colouring up? I don't know. Let's keep it as cream and see what it comes up with. Actually, no, let's change it to ice white. Right, good. Emblems, crew emblems for 25 grand, bargain. I don't think so. So, what else have we got? Let's do the full customization on the bumpers. Front bumpers, we got the stock at the moment. That's decent with all that black. We can grey it up. Or we can do a secondary, we can do an aggressive kind of angry build with that. I'm not sure I like that splitter. So we're just going to go with a primary bumper. Rear bumpers. Primary OEM diffuser. Again, a bit too much puff to that one, a bit too aggressive. Black is decent actually, we want that colour. Maybe we'd go secondary if that. Carbon OEM diffuser maybe. Let's go carbon OEM, why not? Engine, we've done that. Fenders. This is the front fenders here, and we got none, or we can go with those. I think the red is too red, so we're going to go with the carbon vented. Grill, okay. I think black is the way to go with the carbon grill set. I think it just sets it off nicely. And can we go anything else? Could we just go grey? No, I don't think so. I think that's too dull. I'm beginning to feel that this is getting a bit dull anyway. Picture colour-wise, too much grey. Okay, we've done the liveries, we've done the plate, proximity mine. You can do a slick mine. I think that's 125 grand or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's 150. Vortex generators. Okay, this is the roof. You've got some silly stuff on the roof probably. There it is, roof box. I'd never put that on a car ever. There's no reason for it. We don't carry luggage, so vortex generators it is. We could go for a black roof, but we're not going to do that. Carbon roof. Are we not? Actually, are we not? Or are we? Are we? Well, let's put the carbon roof on, shall we? Carbon with vortex generators. Yeah, something like that. Oh, now our rear bit looks a bit queer. Skirts, okay. These are all a little bit blingish. I'm not feeling that. Spoiler. We actually have the roof spoiler, so that's pretty good. What else have we got? I can't remember. It's got an active spoiler. Do you remember? I mean, we can put that on. That is an interesting spoiler. That's a race wing. We might put that on. Got to do something interesting, haven't we? Okay, suspension to the max. wheels, right, these are the originals. We're going to keep these because they're still decent, and on a grey build they look good. So we're not going to do that. Windows, you want to go for blackout. That's what it look like. Let's get out of here, and we've done enough enough here. No, we're still in daylight, so that is good. No active spoiler. Maybe I've just destroyed it, but I can't remember now. But it's an electric car, so it makes an electric car noise, as in none. It makes that little whistling noise. Now, this is all-wheel drive. My main complaint about this car originally was that it's too slippy, and it is. Look at that. But you can manhandle it. You can handle it, but I don't think this car is for everyone for that reason, handling purposes. Although it's all-wheel drive, for some reason the wheels have zero grip. Look at that. You end up smashing it everywhere, and I found that a bit frustrating. I've got to be honest, when I just want no-nonsense driving. You know, sometimes you're not in the mood for it, for slipping around the road like that. Especially when you've got griefers on your arse, but they can't lock onto you with their missiles, so most griefers can't do anything to you because they're too inadequate. So for that reason, it's a very good car anyway. For $1 million though, I mean, yeah, it's decent. It's a decent price as far as Imani-Tech cars go, because your next one, your entry level, I'd say the best one of class is for value for money is probably the Buffalo STX, because it costs you 1.6 million when you get the discount by buying the shop agency. But you can drive it in muscle car races. It's number one at racing muscle car wise. It's boring though. It's very boring to race as a muscle car, but if you feel you need to race the best in class when everyone else doesn't, then yeah, do that. But obviously it's good for driving your own session. But I would say the best out of the Imani-Tech is still the Champion. It's fast and it has that slippy cornering, which this does have, but it's too slippy. It's just not as controllable as the Champion, which is faster in a straight line. I think the acceleration might be better in a Champion as well. This is an electric car, and the acceleration isn't immense, but it is a decent car nevertheless. So if you think you can handle a car which it's at the most slippy end of the scale, I think, of electric cars. So not as grippy as the Neon, which has a little bit of slip in itself, but it's manageable. And the customization is all right, you know, it is enough. But for me, I think it's pretty limited with what I would choose personally, what I like. Lights-wise, you know, you got some decent-looking lights in here. The Audi e-tron. Any fans of that are going to want this car, and for that reason, it's a good car. But I would encourage you to consider the Greenwood, because that's on for 600 grand or something ridiculous. And although it's not faster at accelerating, it's got more grip, it's a muscle car, it does wheelies, and for the price, it is absolutely unbeatable. But this, you know, once you tame the beast, you will have a good time. It's just a matter of putting the time in to learn how to drive it, that's all. So if you're not a very good driver, as in me, if you're an average to below average driver, I'd say caution. If you're not very good at driving, I wouldn't buy it. I'd buy the Greenwood as your first entry-level Imani-Tech. But obviously, the STX is the number one for easy to drive, fastness, and all that business, and cheapness. So anyway, if you found this useful, like and subscribe. But I enjoy it. I think it's a worthwhile car to consider. As you can tell, I'm not having too bad a time driving around the corners. I actually have a smile on my face. As much as I hated this when it first got released, I now like it. Mainly because I've spent time learning how to drive the thing. Thank you very much for watching. Plenty of discounts out this week. Well, actually, there's not a lot of discounts. The Greenwood and this are your cars. But you need to buy the... well, the auto shop's discounted, but you don't need to buy that. But the bunker is. You do need to buy that for business purposes, making money. Thanks a lot for watching anyway. Have a great day if you're playing Das GTA. New DLC will be out soon, so don't waste your money.